The Mapogo lions, which are considered one of the most famous lion coalitions in history, with their harsh tactics and the speed with which they invaded new lands. They were unlike other alliances. They killed almost every lion they faced, and they killed all the cubs, and even the females who opposed their rule, led by the most famous lion ever at that time, the legendary leader Makulu the Terrifying, whose life story full of challenges and blood is missing. The famous lion and later the great leader Makulu and his brothers were born in a pride known as Spartan, specifically in 1998, after a group of lions known as West Street Men took control of this legendary pride. In May 2000, the cub Makulu, who was somehow lost, was forced to struggle and try to survive alone. But in July of the same year, 2 months after he was lost, he returned to his original pride, but with most of the pride members, especially the females, not accepting his return. So many of the observing photographers remained puzzled about the origin of this cub and whether it belongs to the pride or not. But the male lions allowed him to stay, leaving everyone in great astonishment. After a while, the females gave birth to 3 new cubs named Rasta, Pretty Boy, and Dreadlock. Then they later gave birth to Mr. T and Kinky Tail. Makulu became the oldest individual among his brothers at an age that could make him an important member of the pride, and he worked to defend it and preserve it, especially after he possessed a huge and very strong body. So he led most of the big hunting operations, as the older males relied on the presence of these cubs to defend them against attacks from other lions, so they never tried to expel them out of the pride like the rest of the lions. So Makulu fought side by side with his fathers in the pride many fierce alliances that were made to control the pride, like the Split Rock roller coaster Python males and the original Milwaukee males from 2004 to 2005. Then Makulu prepared his 5 brothers to build a strong legendary alliance through his combat experiences and wisdom in leadership, to later separate from the pride after the death of the last West Street seniors, and in order to experience roaming and exploring the area in Sabi Sand. And indeed Makulu took his younger brothers and crossed them to the hottest and most dangerous areas of Sabi. This new young alliance took control with all its strength and struck with an iron fist since its first settlement, as by 2005 to early 2006, Makulu took upon himself to protect his younger cub brothers through his constant guarding of them against the surrounding dangers, which appeared with the first real fight that gathered their older brother with one of the males, who was called Langolini. Makulu and Langolini fought for sovereignty over the area. It was a very fierce battle, and a proof of self for Makulu, who came out of it this strong lion victorious with some minor wounds, and then returned to his lands that he had recently seized, while Langolini was injured in that battle with some strong wounds that left their mark on his face. The cubs grew up with their brother Makulu and roamed Sabi Sand, destroying habitats and lions that tried to confront them, and their alliance was named Mapogo. And with the increasing strength of this alliance, the competitors did not stop trying to attack the pride, led by Ottawa Pride Lions, which Makulu repelled their attack with all strength and violence, including the male Raven who provoked Makulu, despite knowing that he has no chance against the strong Makulu, where the result of their individual fighting was the defeat of Raven on the borders of Londolozi area, and the angry Makulu chased him outside the borders. Then Raven ran away terrified. Later, Makulu returned to his main homeland with his brothers to take revenge on the lions that were controlling the pride, as he wanted with his brothers to revive their father's competitions with the aggressors. The alliance led by Makulu and his savage brother Mr. T defeated the existing enemies one after the other, as many alliances were eliminated, led by Lions Law Office Lions, Split Rock Males, and Roller Coaster. Then the Mapogo took over the entire land, and they wreaked havoc in the entire area, leaving behind their rule many dead from the senior lions, cubs, and even females who dared to confront them. By 2008, almost all of Sabi Sand's lands were under the control of Makulu and his brothers, after most of his competing brothers were killed and expelled within the pride. But once tension and love of control prevailed within the alliance, Makulu turned to the conflict over ownership and defense of his right to control as the oldest of its members. So he got involved in a bloody, fierce battle against his brother Mr. T, nicknamed Satan, to end the fight with the defeat of Mr. T, to prove Makulu's strength and severe prowess and his right to rule. After this fight, Makulu and 3 of his brothers remained in the western sector, namely Rasta, Pretty Boy, and Dreadlock, while Mr. T and Kinky Tail, the 2 powerful lions in Mapogo, headed east to protect the exposed borders in the northeast and south due to the large number of competitors wishing to control such vast, habitat-rich lands. So the confrontation with other lions was inevitable for these 2 lions, and indeed they faced new challenges that were defeated strongly due to their exceptional violence and ferocity. But despite this division, Makulu remained with his brothers in leading the western part with all strength. The harmonious matters and the calm atmosphere in the west were the predominant character of the alliance, as they worked to increase the number of the herd and raise the cubs and chase the competitors who tried several times to enter the area, while the east was a theater for the battles fought by his brothers, as they fought hard to defeat one competitor after another, even in battles where competitors outnumbered. And because the calm in the wilderness does not always last, so 5 young lions from the Majingulane pride invaded the area, causing a big fight in which one of their members fell and the rest fled. But the Majingulane, who did not surrender, decided to monitor the brothers to later single out the younger brother, Kinky Tail, and kill him. And once Mr. T arrived at the place, he knew that he could not face the angry lions alone, so he had to withdraw and return to his brother Makulu in the west after about 2 years of departure and rupture. Makulu allowed his brother Mr. T to rejoin the alliance despite all the previous hatred, to reorganize the alliance and lead it to launch again on a journey of revenge for the death of Kinky Tail and challenge the competitors. Indeed, the brothers walked around with all anger on the surrounding lions for revenge, with eyes filled with fire and greed for killing and destruction, without any response from the cautious competitors. However, one of the reserve guards reported that he saw the 5 Mapogo chasing the 4 new Majingulane alliance to the east, and they continued behind them in the Kruger Reserve in the northeast, ensuring that they would not approach the area again. Makulu lost his brother Rasta after a while at the hands of some hunters, and he was very sad for his death, to remain alone with his 3 brothers, and the alliance became composed of only 4 members. But the wise Makulu remained, preserving the leadership and dominating his brothers, despite that he does not enjoy a strong presence like his previous era, like his devil brother Mr. T. Months after the disappearance of the brother Rasta, Dreadlock was also killed by a human gun, to spread the tragedy again on the legendary Makulu alliance, and the number dropped to 3. And by 2011, Makulu and his alliance continued to defend the western sector of the Pride, as they worked to repel another attack for strong young lions who tried to penetrate the area. They were called the Matimba Alliance. Makulu and his brothers succeeded in killing one of the 4 Matimba members, and chasing the rest, who decided to withdraw outside the borders of the place, and Makulu received in that battle some minor wounds. Later, another young alliance of 4 males advanced. They were called Salala, and they wanted to control the Pride after the Mapogo alliance advanced in age. But the other strong ones, with their vast experience in killing and attacking, repelled them and chased them away. 2012 came, and the effect of aging on the alliance was clear now, as Makulu was 14 years old at that time, and in February 2012, the Salala alliance returned to challenge the Mapogo again. But Pretty Boy saw them and confronted them and repelled them for a period sufficient until the arrival of the rest of his brothers, where Makulu led the rescue mission of his brother with his brother Mr. T to repel the 4 Salala again outside the area, and Makulu continued with his terrifying brothers to win the battles. And with the great progress in age for the 3 members of Mapogo, Makulu decided with his great wisdom to leave the alliance with Pretty Boy in order to avoid death. And Mr. T. The stubborn was left behind them, who insisted on staying and protecting the lands. But after a while, the 4 united Salala returned to try to seize the western sector that they failed in previously, where and without Mr. T, expecting he was besieged by these angry lions, who could not resist these young lions due to his old age and weakness, as he was torn apart in a terrifying way and killed in the end. And then the young alliance took over the entire western sector. Pretty Boy reassembled his ranks with Makulu. It was said that they returned to the lands they were born in Mala Mala in Sabi Sand Reserve, without any response from the Salala alliance. But later, Makulu and his brother continued as nomadic lions, even though they passed through the reserves without any lion attacking them, as if they were still the dominant males in the area. From April to July of the same year, Makulu and Pretty Boy were attacked by the males of the Kruger Alliance, led by Freddy, and his younger brother Limper. The latter was killed by the expert and strong Makulu, despite his weak, thin features, where that war reached its peak in a bloody battle at the end of July. To be the result of that battle costly, that led to serious injuries to Makulu, that almost cost him his life. This was the last strong, bloody, and valuable battle for Makulu and his brother, and its lines will be immortalized by the pages of the history of this region, with his legendary autobiography alongside his fierce brothers in their expansion and control wars. Despite those deadly wounds, Makulu amazingly returned from death to rejoin his brother Pretty Boy and live together in peace outside the land they used to rule, and they continued hunting despite their great age for the next half a year, and continued to move back and forth from Kruger to Sabi Sand. It was said that Makulu took a large buffalo for his injured brother, who was suffering from pain, whose life ended later due to his wounds by December 2012. And Makulu was filled with sadness after he was very attached to his brother Pretty Boy, and he went on his way with a raised head, but with a look of breakdown and great loss that appeared in his eyes. He was last seen entering Kruger National Park in March 2013. He was still in an incredibly good condition, and at the age of 15, declaring that he would never return to Sabi Sand to start writing the last chapter of his legendary life in Kruger Reserve, disappearing and leaving everyone imagining his whereabouts, to keep the last chapter of his life for himself as a legendary lion born for greatness, born to lead. He came out victorious from almost all his fights, and is still fighting inside the merciless jungle nature. He is the legendary leader Makulu, the commander of the terrifying Mapogo Alliance. If luck would have it, and you wandered in the plains of Kenya, rich with all kinds of wildlife, you must have then followed the sound coming from the famous Masai Mara Reserve, and got closer to discover that majestic sound that came from an animal that loved battles and competition. With its angry demeanor, and the wounds left by his fight with his enemies, which confirm the stories circulated about him as a legend of his time. He is a symbol of power, challenge, and rebellion, dominating the plains of Kenya for several years, since 2008, which was the date of his birth, the birth of the king of the plains and forests, the lion Scarface, with his famous scar above his right eye. This terrifying lion writes his bloody history alongside his brothers, who followed in his footsteps, forming a united front in the face of all incoming dangers. As is known, the cubs have no power or strength, where the dominant lion hastens to kill them or displace them, so that he can rule, mate, and enjoy the prey. Scarface was born in the Nikundo Pride, also known as the Fig Tree Pride, and after his birth, the strength of his pride with his three brothers, Morani, Sikio, and Hunter, contributed to his survival from death as a cub. He had to leave with them at an early age. They were 4 wandering lions, drowned in hormones of power, anger, and mating. They encountered troubles, and they repelled evil from each other. With hiding during the day and moving stealthily at night, the experience and strength of this pride increased to become a dangerous alliance capable of overthrowing the greatest challengers. The source of the scar that hit Scarface was not confirmed, as the stories circulated around it, some of whom said it was the result of a spear from one of the shepherds in the plains, and some of them said it was a fight and altercation with one of his brothers. Hence came the name Scarface, meaning the face with the scar, and this face became a nickname for anyone who resembles the scar. Scarface lived among his brothers as the leader of the alliance, although he was not the largest, as Morani was the largest lion among his brothers, and his name means warrior in the local language, while the name Sikio was given to the brother whose ear was cut off. As for Hunter, meaning the hunter, it was the name of the 4th brother, which came because of his skill in hunting buffalo alone. Since time immemorial, the lion has been known for its noble temperament, and kings chose his name to be an icon and king since the civilization of Sumer and the Sphinx, for his majesty in appearance and greatness in rule. Scarface and his 3 brothers raided the plains of Kenya starting from the reserve, so their name became the 4 Horsemen. But luck did not wish to favor Scarface during the beginning of his influence expansion, as he was stabbed in the stomach by one of the shepherds, but he lived after being saved by nature protectors, where he was well treated and re-released into the wild to return and meet his brothers. After a while, Scar and his brothers got bored of the marsh pride that they were controlling. So they set off to another, and that was a good luck for them, as the pride was poisoned after 2 years or less. That is in 2015, after a poisoned corpse was presented by the shepherds, which affected 8 of its lions at the time, before it was ruled again in 2016 by 2 male lions named Ta-2 and Red, meaning the third and red, and it was said that they were from the offspring of Scarface and his brothers. As for the 4 horsemen, they headed in 2014 to the southeast to the plains of Paradise, and it was said that the pride that lives in the middle of these plains is also called the Paradise Pride, and is ruled by 2 strong young lions named Blackie and Lipstick, where a severe and violent battle took place between them, ended with the victory of the 4 horsemen and the expulsion of the 2 lions, then taking control of the pride, which was the best pride of the reserve in terms of hunting and strength. And through them, Scarface and his brothers wanted to ensure the best available means of living, as they had reached the age of about 6 years at the time. But the boredom that was able to get the better of the 4 brothers pushed them to return to the life of control and expansion, where they headed in 2015 to the lands of Recaro Pride, and by coincidence, Blackie and Lipstick were confronted again, the latter 2 who were able to repel the attack of the horsemen this time and expel them outside the area. But the intelligence of Scarface pushed him along with his brothers to wait for the brothers to separate from each other, then ambush them alone and kill them. And this is indeed what happened then, as Blackie left in a protection patrol around the perimeter of the place, to be surprised by the attack of the brothers, who were able to kill him and tear him apart, to return to his brother Lipstick, and they withdraw after what happened, and hand over the area to the brothers for fear of their ferocity and cunning. Later, Scarface was able to expand and control several prides across the plains until they reached 6 prides, which are Paradise, Recaro, Mohoro, Chinese Hills, Mara River, and the Observatory, the latter of which they tended to live near in their last days. The fame of Scarface increased a lot until the researchers looking for exciting stories came from all over the world. In order to photograph him and write reports about him, His Majesty appeared even in his sleep with his brothers, while sometimes the cubs played with him and tampered with his dense dark mane unusually, as the relationship between males and cubs is known for its aloofness. In 2019, some alliances tried to penetrate the ranks of the 4 horsemen and remove the Recaro pride from them, like the Sala Alliance, which are 3 young lions known for their riot and enthusiasm, but they did not dare to penetrate the lands of the 4 horsemen. But on the way back of Morani and Sikio, they encountered the Sala Alliance, to be attacked fiercely. At that moment, Scarface intervened and stopped the fight for unknown reasons, and prevented his brothers from attacking the Sala Alliance, and some suggest that they were from his offspring. And because blessings do not last no matter how long, Scarface suffered a dislocation in his hind joint and became lame. The cause of this was not known, as there were no signs of fighting and wounds, while Hunter disappeared in the same year of 2019, where he left and was not seen afterwards, and his death is likely to be followed by a year or more. Sikio, who was severely injured, he isolated himself far from his brothers and headed to his birthplace in the north. Then he was not seen there or in other places. The disappearance of Scarface came as a puzzle. Then it was also rumored that he died, until he appeared at the end of 2020, and nothing of his splendor remained, but he was waiting to die with dignity. As his body weakened a lot and his joint injury worsened, he took the path of Sikio and headed north until he arrived near the fig tree, the place of his birth, and the place was protected from the Sala Alliance that everyone expected to kill him. But the surprise was to let him eat with them and then leave peacefully, as a kind of repaying the debt for his previous defense of them. Then he was seen resting near the river from his old age and fatigue, and a few days passed until people stood watching this veteran receiving death with all dignity. He died in a quiet afternoon without killing or assault, and because of his legend and majesty, people did not mind leaving him to the hyenas and birds, so they buried him after suffering 2 years of lameness and pain at exactly 1 o'clock in the afternoon on November 6, 2021. In the end, his huge and strong brother Morani remained, who formed an alliance with his son, and they set off to start a new chapter of power, control, and pride. There is diversity of black lions in Kruger National Park. Alliances abound. Gangs roam the open areas seeking control. They crave challenge. They want to prove their right to the place. In a competition reminiscent of a wrestling ring, the strongest and most cunning alliance survives. Among those gangs, a new group emerges terrifying like other lions of the vast plains, in a reserve prepared for the survival of the luckiest among many terrifying predators scattered across the fields. It's the deadly Gandwain lion gang accompanied by their merciless offspring, the Shishangani lions. The massive Gandwain males don't need any unusual introduction. These lions, born between 2005–2006, were named after the area where they were born. Usually the male with the black mane dominates the pride, but all 6 Gandwain lions carried the magnificent black mane. They have traversed the area since their youth, with their massive bodies spreading terror everywhere. Splitnose, Tank, and Blondie were the most prominent and powerful males in general, dominating since their youth and expanding their territory to pride areas like Vorhami Lake and Hippo Pools in the south of the reserve. Success was their thrilling story, continuing to achieve victories and spread their genes, which will naturally continue for years to come, carrying the majestic black mane and the same immensely strong characters. Though not originally siblings, so their encounter and alliance remain a powerful and incomprehensible mystery to many, yet nature always surprises us with its unique and distinctive blend. The Gandwain lion males also rule the area around the Crocodile Bridge in the reserve, spread over a large area where they have dominated every spot they tread upon. However, these strong lions mostly spent their time in the Hippo Pools area, occasionally being active within the Vorhami Pride quietly and without fuss. That's why they are rarely seen roaming around Kruger Reserve, and with many other competing male lions around them, especially in the southern Kruger area, they have held their ground, well maintaining their constant readiness to fend off any attack. These lions retained their strong alliance because it facilitates their fighting, control, and repelling attacks from other competing male lions. It also makes hunting easier in the absence of females around them, especially when hunting large animals like buffalo. But as they age, the moment will come when the 6 males won't be seen together, especially with their limited movements in the area, perhaps encountering 1 or 2 lions while on protection and surveillance patrols around the area. With time, their cubs born between 2010–2011 grew up, inheriting their father's love for control and expansion. So when 4 new cubs reached an age where they could unleash their roars and anger, they left their pride like all new cubs and embarked on writing their own story, spreading terror wherever they tread, following the footsteps of their fierce fathers. Thus, carrying their father's strong genes, enjoying the same strength and majestic appearance, these young lions were dubbed Shishangani lions by the reserve guards. These lions were subject to much speculation due to the mystery surrounding their lives like their fathers, but they left their mark in one of the most famous areas throughout the African continent, facing the challenges of the jungle, where there's no middle ground known to wildlife, where the balance always tilts towards one side, the side of the victor. Although Kruger Park is not a highly touristy area, these powerful lions attracted attention from all wildlife enthusiasts and fans of thrilling lion stories worldwide. The 4 Shishangani males managed to make a name for themselves over the past decade, primarily due to their impressive appearance. Their large bodies and dark, majestic manes always catch the eye of photographers. And that was the case with these beautiful lions. Seeking new horizons and areas to dominate, the Shishangani lions aspired to rule a pride that would serve them well. So from the first opportunity for confrontation, this young alliance entered into a conflict with 2 powerful males from the Hippo Pools alliance. After skirmishes, they managed to overcome them and drive them out, taking control of the pride females, giving them the chance to mate and spread their new genes in the area. On the other hand, their fathers were absent from appearances, rarely seen, affected by their advancing age and weakness, which would later pose a problem for them, making it difficult to resist any new attacks on their territories. There was no emotional connection between the fathers and their sons, so when the opportunity arose to try to avenge their expulsion from their birthplace in Vorhami Pride, these 4 lions returned full of vigor and strength to expel their fathers from the Pride. As soon as the sons arrived, skirmishes began with their fathers in an attempt to gauge the pulse and find the best tactics for the attack. After months of anticipation and attempts, it seems that a serious battle between these 2 great alliances is inevitable. The risks were higher this time as there was a lioness mating with 3 Gandwain males. When 2 Shishangani males arrived out of nowhere and chased the Gandwain males, who initially retreated several times but eventually entered the conflict and faced the Shishangani males. After a fierce attack, the fathers emerged with disfigured faces and filled with blood and serious injuries, eventually forced to withdraw, allowing their vengeful sons to take control of the area and leaving the remaining fathers to become nomads in the reserve. With their siblings joining them, the 4 are fully prepared for the upcoming challenges. From other strange males who also seek expansion and control, to lions with the same genes left by their fathers in multiple areas of the reserve. Thus, the period of peace will not remain the same for the Shishangani alliance, especially after the division of the alliance and their initiation into intensive protection patrols around the area, following in their fathers' footsteps, to keep their lionesses and future cubs safe, marking the beginning of the breaking of this alliance after one of the lions did not return, reportedly falling victim to an illegal hunter, leaving only 3 lions in the alliance. Hard times have indeed arrived, as after a month of losing 1 member, another lion suffered a serious injury of unknown origin in one of his thighs, leading to muscle damage. It's unclear whether it occurred during a hunt or a confrontation with another lion. The injured lion appeared wounded and limping significantly. He was no longer able to participate in hunting or patrols, relying visibly on lionesses for food, so only 2 lions with good health remained, forced to defend their territory alone. As days passed, they had a decent amount of offspring, with one of the most famous being the Majingulane Lion Alliance, which would surely have its own unique story, born from the pride of Hippopoole's females, in addition to 6 adult offspring from the pride of Vorhami females. Returning to the fathers, one of them was spotted partially blind, with his eyes horribly injured, even losing one completely in a battle, or from the Shishangani alliance itself. By the end of 2018, a male lion with a broken leg was found. He was seen lying in the forest, barely moving, and the guards confirmed he was indeed one of the old Gandwain lions, before dying from disease and starvation later on. The latest updates on the Shishangani alliance were in early 2020, indicating that the condition of the injured lion was deteriorating and his life would end soon, while the healthy siblings were about to face an invasion of their territory by a coalition of 5 powerful lions heading their way. This alliance was likely the Shangan, born in the same area. Their stories intertwined no matter how intense. The Gandwain males, along with their offspring, have left a distinctive legacy behind. From fierce battles to scattered cubs in the corners of the reserve, who within a few years will be as strong as their fathers and non-sibling brothers. They, in turn, will surely practice rituals of revenge, bloodshed, and control, following the footsteps of those who came before them. In today's video, we'll delve deeper into the magnificent African wilderness to explore the strongest lion alliances ever. 6th, the Birmingham Boys. In the rugged northern Sabi Sand area of Kruger National Park, a group of lions known as the Birmingham Alliance established their presence. Each member had a unique personality, symbolizing strength and resilience in the African wild. Initially, Nsoko, nicknamed Blondie for his impressive blonde mane, took the lead as the eldest and fiercest. Naturally, Nsoko assumed his leadership role alongside his strong brother Nhenha, brave warrior Tino with broken teeth, and mischievous and aggressive Mafumo, named after a legendary villainous character. They cooperated as blood brothers to protect their territory and secure food collectively. However, life for the Birmingham Lions wasn't always unified. It was a mix of competition and desire for solitary rule. Battles erupted over mating rights and dominance, leading to violent conflicts within the coalition with severe consequences that eventually scattered this powerful alliance. Fifth, the Notch Coalition. The Masai Mara region, with its vast golden plains and immense animal diversity, witnessed a unique lion lineage known as the Notch Coalition. This group of 6 strong males, led by the grizzled male Notch, were angry siblings filled with bloodlust and hunting prowess. Their harmonious teamwork made them elite hunters who decimated many wild animals, including zebras with their high speeds. Their secret weapon was their thrilling collective action. Their roars echoed like thunder across the plains, signaling dominance and power and clearly expressing their bravery and control over the area. Led by Notch and his fierce sons, they were always effective attackers and seasoned warriors in battles. Spanning over 1,000 square kilometers, their prey-rich kingdom was highly contested by other beasts. Thus it was inevitable that this kingdom would fall. As Notch aged, signs of weakness appeared, and his roar turned to whispers. He stayed close to his sons, trying to survive as long as possible before his reign broke forever. However, some sons fell in battles, and others disappeared for unknown reasons, hastening the end of this coalition that left its mark and genes across Masai Mara that will undoubtedly re-emerge in strong alliances. Fourth, the Matimba Lions Coalition. The formation of the powerful Matimba Coalition and its emergence in the Sabi Sand area was a very frightening era, which lasted from 2010 to 2017. These 6 lions were famous for their strength and ferocity, forming regional invaders, aggressors, and usurpers of many lands from other lion coalitions. This group originated in the Ngala Reserve, where their journey of dominance began in 2010 when they moved to Manyaleti, successfully expelling the dominant lions to establish their own territories and lands that extended across Kruger National Park to Ngala Reserve and onto Sabi Sand. The strategic decision by this coalition to move not only showed their adaptability, but also their understanding of the surrounding environment and how to take the best steps for dominance and expansion. The Matimba Coalition's ability to work collectively in coordinated hunting operations played a crucial role in their success. It also allowed them to cooperate effectively, not just in hunting, but also in defending their territories from potential threats. However, internal divisions and the mysterious disappearance of one of the lions named Nduna in 2012 led to a shift in Matimba's strategies. By 2013, conflicts within the coalition, along with the emergence of young lions, led to a split into 2 factions: the northern Matimbas, which included Shaka, Slitnose, and Whiteface, and the southern Matimbas, which included Hairy Belly and Ginger, known for their hostility and frequent clashes with rivals. The northern Matimba era began to fade once one of the males was killed in 2015, while another was killed by rival males in 2017. The last northern Matimba was seen spending time with the Skoro Pride around Tamboti area and eventually died of old age as he appeared weak. Meanwhile, in 2018, the southern Matimba lions were spotted on the western side of Sabi Sand, an area left by the Majingulane coalition after their death. Soon after, the southern lions were seen mating with Othawa lionesses and later sired many cubs, expanding and mating with other known prides such as Talamati, Mibri, Nkuhuma, Torchwood, Skoro, and Red Road. Later on, Ginger Matimba suffered from a severe type of mange and was seen struggling with the disease for some time, but eventually died, leaving Hairy Belly as the last remaining Matimba lion. Third, the Salati Males Coalition. In the diverse competitive landscape of western Sabi Sand region emerges another one of the fiercest and most bloodthirsty coalitions. Despite its recent existence and short history of spread, it has made its own violent glory in this vast place. It is the Salati Coalition that came as a terrifying force dominating many areas of the reserve from 2015 to 2017 in a deadly and swift manner. Named after the Salati River that flowed through their territory, this coalition formed an enduring legacy. Their rise to prominence was not easy. The Salati brothers strategically collaborated to overthrow the Mapogo coalition that ruled the area at that time. The scene of fierce battles was terrifying, especially after Mapogo members scattered and struggled among themselves, leading to successful takeover of their territories and expulsion from the list of dominant predators in the region. The unity and strength of Salati coalition became the cornerstone of their clear dominance, embodying sophisticated strategies of lion societies. For 2 years, the Salati males held their territory with an iron grip. They sired many cubs and reinforced their status as formidable and terrifying predators that are difficult to confront. However, their reign was not without challenges. Territorial disputes arose from other coalitions that began to emerge frequently in the area, forming the kind of massive competition for place like the Majingulane and Birmingham males, which were constant threats. In addition, some internal conflicts within the group's entity led to one of the lions leaving the coalition in 2016. The tragedy for the coalition increased in 2017 when a member of the coalition fell victim to attacks by Matimba and Majingulane lions, while another succumbed to illness, leaving the remaining 2 Salati brothers in a clear state of weakness, as their strength was in their union. The younger lion persevered for a short time, but eventually faced too much challenge and competition that led to his overthrow by the Birmingham males in 2018. This marked the end of the strong Salati coalition. Secondly, the Majingulanes coalition. The Majingulanes coalition gained a terrifying reputation in their movements and incursions into territories and occupying areas, where this coalition's lions always moved towards their goal without ever deviating from their path. They were raised in Makulu Reserve, where they were known for their skills in hunting large prey, especially buffalo. After this quintet coalition's cubs were born between 2004 and 2005, they set out on their own in 2009, heading south towards Sabi Sand. Their choice to stay together played an important role in asserting their presence and enhancing their status everywhere they set foot. Therefore, they always roared on their way of migration, looking for new challenges to test their immense strength. Salala Pride was the first group targeted by the Majingulanes. They caused many victims who tried to confront them. Only the 4 younger lionesses along with their mothers managed to survive. By 2010, the 2 adult lionesses had surrendered to the coalition and chose to mate with what was previously considered the enemy. In this harsh environment, the law of survival of the fittest prevailed for the group and the strongest to ensure the continuation of the herd. The Majingulane's lions became stronger and more violent, with a darker and thicker mane that indicated their immense strength, gradually dominating more territories. This dominance continued for more than 7 years, representing an important chapter in the pages of glory they wrote over the years. They firmly controlled a vast area of Sabi Sand Reserve, estimated at 26,676 hectares, during the peak of their influence. Firstly, the Mapogo Alliance. We've reached one of the most ferocious alliances that dominated and marked their territory and history with blood. With a group of massive, fierce, and battle-scarred lions known as the Mapogo, this terrifying group of males born in South Africa, specifically in the vast Sabi Sand area of Kruger National Park, was one of the most fearsome types of lions over the years, from 2004 to 2012. This alliance was famous for its unprecedented strength and violence and its unparalleled killing methods. They also controlled an area of about 70,000 hectares. What distinguishes the Mapogo Alliance is its harsh reputation, which led to a bloody history documented by killing more than 100 lions and cubs in just 1 year, a number that could be higher considering the vast areas they patrolled. At its peak, the alliance consisted of 6 fierce males, had a special impact on the place, and did not distinguish between a cub of their offspring or their brother's offspring. They killed for the sake of killing only, with an insatiable hunger for violence and blood. In the early months of 2004, 5 cubs, along with the veteran warrior and leader Makulu, left their pride to begin a series of challenges to survive in the wild. In addition to learning exciting hunting and killing methods, they formed a formidable bond through their unity, staying together, thereby increasing their chances of survival. After gaining strength and becoming successful and skilled hunters, they set out to dominate and discover their immense power. Their large size and excellent experience in taking down huge prey enabled them to face the fiercest competing beasts, especially other lion alliances coveting their place. They also demonstrated their ability to adapt and excel in overcoming challenges in their vast territories. On March 16, 2012, a pivotal moment in the overall competitive landscape of the Sabi Sand area was revealed when a new alliance of 4 male lions known as Salatis entered the territory controlled by the Mapogo lions. This marked the beginning of a significant shift in the region's balance of power. Many challenges emerged at that time, especially after an internal conflict led to the fragmentation and division of the alliance. In another decisive confrontation, a group of powerful Majingulane lions appeared and began trying to overthrow the Mapogo members through their tactical prowess and ferocity. The youthfulness and vitality that were one of the reasons for their ability to face the terrifying Mapogo. The fall of alliance members one after another, especially Mr. T, marked a turning point in Mapogo's dominance. The last 2 lions from the group, Old Makulu and Pretty Boy, found themselves engaged in a fierce confrontation. It led to their withdrawal into Kruger National Park's territory, trying to stay away from danger as much as possible. However, they faced Kruger's lions, who eventually overthrew them, declaring an end to an era of one of the most brutal and bloody lion alliances.